Hello. So let's continue our class after the break. Uh, Whatever we have studied till now, that includes some theoretical part also. Now, what I have designed is there are some theorems. There are some theorems and results which are going to use by using these results, we solve some numerical type of questions. Like, for example, if I say G is a group of order 21, then a subgroup of order 7 is a normal subgroup of G. That's a questions. For example, G is a group of order 21, then whether Z is isomorphic to Z21 or G is isomorphic to Z3 cross Z7 and so on, or whether Z can be abelian or non-abelian. Let's say order of G is some finite number n and some finite integer m divides n, then G has an element, बात समझ रहे हैं यहाँ पर, G has an element of order P or G has an element such that the composition of that element P times gives you identity. Sorry, P is not that M divisor, where M is a prime number. You can take P there. You may have a question that G is an abelian group of order 22, then find possible orders of elements. How many element of order 11, how many element of order 2 are possible in that group? So such questions may be 1000 in numbers. For such questions, what theoretical part we need is, I'm going to discuss over those things. As far as my experience says, theoretical proofs of those things helps you in magnifying your previous concepts. Not directly in exam, they are not going to ask those proofs. But if you have those results or those theorems, a well understanding of those theorems, then definitely it's gonna be very fruitful for you. So is the target clear for the second half of the lecture? Chal. So what I have done is, I just noted down all that stuff which needed to be remembered. Also tried to prove those things just for you guys so that you can take the screenshot, because online lectures, this is the, like, you can say positive or negative for you. Like, you can save your time for that. Okay, so let's move. The first question, what it was, if a prime number divides order of a group, then what you can say and what you can interpret from that. So for that, dear, we have two different theorems. Number first is Cauchy theorem for finite abelian group, and other theorem is for finite groups. Means if a group is finite abelian and a prime number P divides order of group, then there exists an element A in G such that A composition P times gives you the identity element. I asked a question over that. Whereas Cauchy theorem, this is Cauchy theorem for finite abelian group. This is Cauchy theorem for finite groups. That is the difference. Iska proof, like you can exercise for that, because I expect that they may ask from this part. But it's still very less probability. The probability for asking the question is very much. The numerical question which I asked earlier. Still, if you are interested in doing the proofs, so I have done for you used mathematical induction methods. Everything is written on the board because just to save the time only. So if you want to prove, you'll have to use these two things. Number first is mathematical induction. How you will use? That is written here also. How you will use mathematical induction? That suppose it is true for groups of order less than that of order of the G. And ultimately you have to show that if it is true for orders less than that of order G, and it is also true for order of the group, you are done. So I have used mathematical induction here. Other part, I'll have to use the class equation, which I already told you that is very much important for you guys. You remember? So how you use the class equation, everything is well written here. You can read that. Very simple. So for you guys, I just bifurcated this thing so that you can save your time, because in the book you will be having here what he is doing, what Ravi is doing, like that feeling. So just to remove that feeling, I have done that. For me, please do remember this statement, very important for your exam purpose. Okay. In the same manner, also we have other concept as Sello's theorem. That is also very important for us, just because based on Sello's theorem, we may have questions in our exam. What type of questions we may have in your exam, that we will see later. Before that, you will have some terms here. Sello P subgroup. You will have those terms there, that Sello P subgroup. For slow P subgroup, just wait a minute, I will just take a call. हाँ मैं क्लास में हूँ पापा. हेलो, हाँ क्लास में है, क्लास में अभी. So slow P subgroups. What are those? I have written the definition also here. Suppose Z is a group of finite order. First thing you have to notice, such that P raised to the power M divides order of group, but P raised to the power M plus 1 is not a divisor. That means P raised to the power M divides order of group, but P raised to the power M plus 1 does not divide order of group. Then for that, where P is a prime number, we have a result. Although slows have 1, 2, 3 theorems, but for us the third theorem is very important. Only the statement part you need to carry on. So what is the statement part is number of slow P subgroups of some given group. So those are 1 plus Kp, where P is the prime number, and K runs from 0, 1, 2 and so on. You getting my point? So from where P will come? Let's say, just for understanding you, let's say order of G is 26, let's say. Okay. So since 2 divides 26, 2 ka power 1 plus 2, 2 square does not divide 26. So what we will say, this G has Sello two subgroup, please do focus on the word, Silo two subgroups of order p raised to the power m. Okay, so here of order 2 raised to the power 1, that is 2. So Silo p subgroup need not be a order of p. Please do focus, please mark star here. Order of a Silo p subgroup will be p raised to the power m, where p raised to power m divides order of g, but p raised to power m plus 1 does not divide order of g. Is that clear to you all? Any doubt? Don't confuse now, huh? Okay. How to calculate number of Silo 2 subgroup? Let's say I want to know number of Silo 2 subgroup of a group of order 26. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do 1 plus k into 2. So k is running from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So it may be 1 plus 0 into 2. Other possibility 1 plus 1 into 2. Other possibility 1 plus 1 in 2 into 2. Other possibility 1 plus 3 into 2 and so on. But here the possibility will be confirmed only for those cases. Please focus here. For which 1 plus kp divides order. So 1 divides, this is what? 1, and 1 divides order of group. Is that clear? So there may be Silo 2 subgroup of order 2 here. Number of Silo 2 subgroups may be 1. Maybe I am saying possibilities are there. Okay. What are these? Possibilities. 1 plus 1 into 2, that is 3, but 3 does not divide 26. So that means here for this group G, the number of Silo 2 subgroups cannot be 3. 1 plus 4, 5. 5 does not divide. So we will say here G does not have 5 Silo 2 subgroups. You getting my point or not? On checking, please do remember all these things, whatever I am saying. Very useful for your exam. So if the third point I'm mentioning here, number first is how many possible Silo 2 subgroups here. So let's say there may be 1, 5 and so on, but possibility will be confirmed only for those for which that number divides order of group. Is that fine? Other point, these are exam points for you, numerical questions. If any Silo p subgroup is unique, that means possibility is only 1, then we will say that Silo p subgroup is normal in its group. So here please do remember this thing, UPSC CSE as well as IFS. So guys, IFS guys, please do remember this thing, if any Silo p subgroup is unique, there may be some group has, in the last case also there may be the group has, for example, 1 plus 6 into 2. Check it out. 1 plus 6 into 2 will be a possibility, and that is 13, and 13 divides 26, that is order of G. So G may have 13 Silo 2 subgroups. That means Silo 2 subgroups in a group of order 26 is not unique. So this need not be normal in G. What this? This wala Silo 2 subgroup. Let's say this is represented by H or H1, whatever you wish to have. You're getting my point or not? So this is the crux I am saying, whatever I have run through my as a student or teacher. So what are those points which I found? Okay, if you are familiar with these points, then you can crack that question. Getting my point? Everything is fine or not? Should I move now? Any doubt? So this is Sillow's story. Still, I will suggest you to go through the book to read these theorems, and ultimately you have to remember these points so that you can answer questions in your part. Okay. So this is the story for Silo 2 subgroups. Application of Silos. Again, UPSC PYQ indication. Dear aspirants, application of Silos, it is given on Gallian book. If you want to refer, then you can in the new edition, latest edition, 412 page number pe, you can go through for that. For me, this statement is very, very important. But the question I asked in the starting, if G is an order, G is a group of order 21, let's say. Let's see, order of G is 21. Then it can be written as 3 into 7 or not. Here, I represent this as P. Both are prime numbers. 3 divides 7 minus 1. That is 6. Getting? Or we may have, we may have a group of order 50. So how it will be, this is not PQ form, I'm sorry, a group of order 77. So it can be written as 7 into 11. It is of the form P into Q, where 7 does not divide 11 minus 1. That means a group of order PQ, where P and Q both are primes, then P may divide Q minus 1. Also focused here, I have knowingly taken P as less than Q. So you just write that decomposition. You could also write here 11 into 7, but write that 7 into 11 so that you can just frame your question. Nothing will change. So what this statement says, this is just an application of Silos and very important for you guys, for your preparation part. If you have a group, there may be 1000 questions from based on it. Those questions also you will be having in your assignments or in the extra class, that is questions exercise wala class. But here I am giving you a glimpse. Here I am giving you a task to think and to remember. If you have a group of order PQ, then what you can say about that group? That is written here. Please be on the screen and note it down. P may divide, P may divide, P may not divide. If P does not divide, then do remember that group will be isomorphic to ZPQ. That means this G will be isomorphic to Z7 into 11. You can write it as Z77. So Zn is always cyclic. This implies Z is cyclic. This implies Z is abelian, because a cyclic group is always abelian. So if the question was, if you want to note down, you can note down. If G is a group of order 77, then what is the center of that group? Tell me. If G is a group of order 77, then what you can say about it is abelian or non-abelian? If Z is a group of order 21, then what you can say? For that I have added this extra point. Please note down these 2 points. These are going to be very useful for your UPSC preparation as far as abstract algebra is concerned. Any doubt? I hope I have conveyed the message. Is it? Sure. One more useful concept for you people, that is fundamental theorem for abelian group. Please do remember Please do remember this theorem. The proof may be lengthy. Also in the Galleon also they suggested it is for further task. So I also suggest it is for further task. But for me, the statement is very important. I'm saying very, very important. So what it says, a finite abelian group is isomorphic to a direct product is nothing but like this, Z2 cross Z2 or something like that. मतलब Z1 cross G2 plus Gn. This is called direct product. Okay. This is very important where decomposition is unique up to. Abhi I'm just going to tell you what it means why I have written this thing. So this statement you can understand from this example. Let G be a abelian group of order 8. उसने केवल इतना बोला. Somebody says this. Then what you can say about this? What he said? Abelian है और finite है. Is it clear? Then this fundamental theorem for finite abelian group says कि G must be expressed as direct product of such forms. If G, अभी यहां से in general आप देखिए, suppose that G is a group of order n, तो n can be decomposed into prime numbers like this. Let's say कि G is a group of order 8, so 8 can be written as 2 raised to the power 3. So how this 3 can be partitioned, and because of that partition we have different possibilities. Suppose that I have take the partition of 3 as 3 only. Let's say you have 3 packets. Okay, in one way you can take all those 3 packets in one way. In other way you can take 1 here, 2 here. In other way you can take 1 1 1. So how many partitions you can do for the 3 articles? That is, it may be complete all 3, 1 or 2, 1 1 1 3 times. Getting? So what this fundamental theorem for a finite abelian group says, if G is a finite abelian group of order n, then G must be expressed in the form of Z P1 raised to the power R1 cross internal direct product of Z P2 raised to the power R2 and so on, where P1 P2 are what? Just decomposition of that number n. So if I said कि G is a finite abelian group of order 22, what I said, if G is a finite abelian group of order 22, so what the fundamental theorem says, सबसे पहले this n is 22, it can be written as 2 into 11, that means 2 raised to the power 1, 11 raised to the power 1. So G will be isomorphic to either Z2 into 11 or Z2 cross Z11. Is it? Any other partition you can do? Focus on the word partition. Okay? And partitions of what? These powers. Partition of powers, not P1, P2, Pn. So these are the key points in this fundamental theorem for finite abelian groups. Now it is up to you what you want to carry and what you want to leave. Numerical questions, just for examples, I have discussed here also. But in the exercise lecture, all such questions you will have many examples there, because I have talked and I have promised you guys that I will leave no stone unturned in this lecture series. So this is the theory part of this group theory. In one lecture, I am gonna revise from lecture 1 to end lecture. Again, how these things will be linked. In the exercise wala lecture, I will be using fundamental theorem for finite abelian group, fundamental theorem of homomorphism, how order of elements theorem can be used. So linkages between different topics I will teach you there. So keep reading. Get in touch with all these lecture series. Points which I told you, those are the refined points as a teacher's experience or as a student's experience. So what to take, what to avoid, it is up to you. I have tried my best for this. We'll meet in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye. Okay.